Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Appearing for exam now. Each answer carries, I think, 10 marks. Question. All are for me or... Puja Swamiji, no? It looks like, because I have not discussed certain aspects, and so can we keep it, because tomorrow again Swamiji is having a satsang. So, I mean, I can give, but it's better Swamiji is discussing certain things, and maybe, let's see. Regarding action versus reaction, does a reaction produce a karmic result? I ask because this does not seem to be any free will involved in a reaction. Good. Yes, it produces, because you should have utilized the free will. You did not utilize free will properly. Right? And therefore, you should have done an action, a deliberate action. Like instead of anger, we talked about anger a lot, any other reaction. Ultimately, you should not have, because, see, that's what I said, a reaction means a behavior which I don't want from others, which others do not want from me, and also a behavior which I don't want from myself. Means I could have avoided. See, others also, you don't expect from others. Someone shows a anger towards you. You are at a receiving end. Do you want it? No. So definitely there is a common sense ethics here. So common sense ethics are there, by which you should have definitely utilizing your free will based on the dharma which is given to you. It's given. Dharma is a manifestation of Ishvara, and anything which is a manifestation of Ishvara must be universal. Therefore, if I say Dharma is a manifestation of Ishvara, it should be present in everyone. And it is present. Where the free will is, there itself the manifestation of exercising the free will properly is given. It's like this side is a free will, this side is like consider a coin. So two sides, tail and head. So where the free will is given to you, there itself how to utilize the free will properly is also given. Means based on right and wrong, universal right and wrong, that knowledge also is given. A common sense is also given. So if you don't utilize it, and well, definitely means your free will you are not utilizing properly, then in that case, definitely you are inviting a path. So that is what it means. So free will is suspended totally in knowing something. When you know something, well, your free will cannot interfere here. But in an action, definitely free will is there, but not utilizing properly. It doesn't take your consent, means it doesn't take into your right and wrong sense, the common sense, it doesn't take into. So instead it goes by likes and dislikes. That's only, when you go by your likes and dislikes, we call it as a mechanical response. When you go by your right and wrong structure given to you, well, we call it as a rightful choice, a conscious choice. Otherwise, it's a mechanical choice when it is going by likes and dislikes. So therefore, there is a free will. Free will is suspended when you know. Like when you open your eyes, there is a free will. And when your eyes contact me, that time the free will is suspended. Yeah. To open your eyes or not, it's in your hand. Once you open your eyes and it falls on me, well, and then whatever is there, you will come to know. In that, your free will doesn't play any role. So karmas are basically based on your free will. In a knowledge, free will is suspended. You don't have a choice there. Whether this, instead of a Swami, I would like to see him as an apple. That kind of a choice. Or maybe a donkey or some whatever. That choice you don't have. So, if you suspend your free will, then only you can know it. Even a basic person, there is one action where even your free will doesn't interfere. And that's an action of a prayer. Free will doesn't interfere means it is not under pressure. Free will is totally free. That's the only one action in which free will is totally free. And that is prayer. The efficacy of the action is based on this. When free will is under the pressure of a likes and dislikes, to that extent, the result, unseen result, punya, etc., produced is very less. And when the free will is totally free, and then definitely the adrishtam, the punyam which is produced is maximum. Where there is no free will at all, then even though a living being is doing a lot of noble activities, still no punyam. Where there is no free will. Free will is totally free, maximum punyam. Free will is under the pressure, to that extent you are compromising with the result which you are going to gain. And what is the example for that? Well, cow. Cow is giving milk every day. And many other things. Trees are giving lot of all noble activity. Well, still, those living beings, they do not produce any punyam. So, free will is required. Where there is a free will, then definitely you invite a drishtam. And free will should be totally free also. Yeah. And that is the only action which is prayer. In which, that's how I said, when someone is praying, then he is a basic person, which I talked in the morning, in the meditation. That basic person prays, connects to Ishvara mentally, which is meditation. And mostly, the prayers are very efficacious. They produce maximum punyam. Generally, it is not free. Free will is, we call free will, really it is not free. We generally go by our choices are based on our likes and dislikes, hardly on the basis of, living this group. Mostly, our choices are based on our likes and dislikes. And that is how all the time there is a conflict, otherwise there will not be conflict. What is actually what I like is not what I'm not supposed to do. And what I don't like, which I am supposed to do, which is right. And so the conflict keeps on going. That's a Mahabharata war. Ragadveshas are considered like a Kauravas, and this Dharma, knowledge of right and wrong, is a Pandavas. So that conflict keeps going all the time. One who doesn't have a conflict, his actions are all spontaneous. All noble actions, spontaneous. Well, that person is in harmony with oneself, also in harmony with the world. Yeah. That gives a joy. Yeah. Harmony gives joy. That person is self-sufficient also. And then he need not have to fulfill his desires, which I was talking, binding desires, etc. He need not have to fulfill. Any action which brings a harmony with other person in relationship definitely gives a joy. Any action which you are supposed to do and you do gives a joy, including laundry. Anything you are supposed to do. You are supposed to call the parents, you are supposed to do this, you are supposed to do emails. What you are supposed to do, you do it. The day you decide to do it and you do it. gives a joy. You have not actually not taken any sense object, etc. for experiencing joy, but you get a joy. This is a different type of a joy. That is the difference between two purushartha called, one is a kama and other is dharma. Kama also means you are objects of pleasure. Dharma also means a pursuit of pleasure. Yeah. But in one there are varieties of the objects. Objects could be of three types which can give you a joy. Certain objects are sense objects. Contacting them through the sense organs, they give a joy. Then there are certain objects which can give you intellectual pleasure. Like, studying one's own certain branch of knowledge, and when you gain a certain clarity, gives a joy. Solving the puzzle gives a joy. So these are all intellectual pleasures. Third is certain objects which give you a joy, they are very aesthetic. Yeah. Classical music, painting, all this give a joy. Not for all. Not for all. Really, certain infrastructure is required. When this person starts doing alapa, etc., and the other people like me, what is going on? It needs some infrastructure. Even to enjoy a certain painting, I myself have seen a person standing in front of a paint gallery, was standing there and constantly seeing and was thoroughly engrossed. He was in a samadhi. Literally. He was not aware of what is going on, who are there around, nothing. 1 hour. I finished entire thing twice. Requires it's an aesthetic pleasure. Very fortunate people. Certain painting, all this, music, any classical thing. Because they have a certain pleasure which is more sustained. The sense objects give a pleasure which is very, very temporary. Then intellectual pleasures give a little more joy. But aesthetic pleasures give you joy for a long time. The musician, gets artha also, money also, by doing a program, and he gets kama also. He gets all aesthetic pleasure. All 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. In Ahmedabad, there used to be a program by Times of India group called Satsang, a musical night. They used to invite all Pandit Jasraj and all best people. And whole night. And even the whole night they sing and all, you don't find that they are literally tired. They must be enjoying a lot. So this is all kama. Dharma gives a pleasure, not by object. That's it. It's purely tapping your own joy. It's a higher pleasure. You have not to depend on any object, aesthetic or intellectual or sensory. Yet you get a joy. Just by doing something or doing an activity with a certain attitude. That's it. Therefore, so this kind of a joy in which you are more independent. That is how dharma is very close to moksha. When such a person is told you are Ananda, he doesn't have, his eyes will not become like this. Because he knows, he has already tapped. So that person, he doesn't have those binding desires. I will discuss tomorrow. He doesn't have those binding desires. Free from anger also. There is a self-love. No self-loath. Because there is a value for all this. That's how you expect others also to behave in a certain way, certain rightful manner. And you also do the same, creating a harmony. Therefore, there is no self-loath. Once you have a value for something and you are not able to cope up with that, or you are not able to follow in your life, you all will have a self-loath. And therefore, suppose I have a value for getting up early in the morning, and if I am not able to get up, right, I switch off the alarm clock and again get up by 8 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. When you get up, you don't feel good about yourself. When you start feeling good about yourself, that's it. That's the emotional maturity. Yeah. Now emotions are under your control. It's a wonderful thing. And their karma yoga, etc. also plays a role. Now this differentiate between complacent and content and Swamiji is this. Okay. Talk about the mind. Swamiji, can you talk about the mind itself, mithya, and how something that is mithya itself can be a vehicle for knowledge of the self? Yeah. The self-knowledge is mithya. Yeah. Self is not mithya. Self-knowledge is mithya. All the accessories which you utilize for the self-knowledge are all mithya. Teacher is mithya first. Really. The student is mithya. The other infrastructure in the whatever in the teaching which is involved, mithya. Everything is mithya. Self is not mithya. Self-knowledge is mithya. Mind is mithya. When we say mithya, we feel that some kind of I always feel the people generally when they ask about something like mithya, I feel they have a certain derogatory, or a lower value for those things. Never. What is useful in this world is all mithya. Really. What is real is not useful. Really. That cup, yeah, I live this because we have certain standard classical examples. The form is which is useful, right? Which is mithya. What is useful to you is all form, including your body, your mind, your thought, your senses, all form. That is Jagat. And we have certain names because the forms are different. So you have different names. The truth behind the form is called Atma. And therefore, self-knowledge is mithya. Well, self-knowledge gives you the knowledge, and even that jnana vritti also goes away. That's how it has been defined in the Shastra. Like that alum, takes away all the dust particles in the water. Along with it takes it and settles down, making the water totally clean. Same way this jnana vritti, no vritti will remain a permanent thing. Right now, well, you have a Swami vritti in your mind. It is not permanent. In fact, it's like a movie. It is going on. Various frames are there. Various frames. And when you look at this now, the Swami goes away. Swami vritti goes away, naturally. So this is how the mind is momentary. Mind is momentary. And therefore, anyway, so is it okay, this answer? Swami, Dharma seems like it can be complex or discerning dharmic action. That Swami has discussed this? Okay. Dharma seems like it can be complex or discerning dharmic action. We need a judgmental mind for this, right? Yes? We have to discern dharmic action by common sense ethics. There is order. Dharma order is there. Dharma order is for the human beings. Because human being has a free will and he can abuse the free will. Where there is a freedom, there is all possibility of abusing the freedom. And therefore, that order is there. Along with all other orders, We'll discuss that. Along with all other orders, all other laws, natural laws, which are manifestation of Lord. Even Dharma also is a law of Dharma. Law of karma, both are there. So how does renunciate and following subjective action interact with following Dharma? I don't know, what is it? How does renunciate and following subjective action interact with following Dharma? I really did not follow.
I can clarify. So, I just was wondering if, being renunciate and kind of mitigating your likes and dislikes and your judgmental mind, right, is part of developing a clear, calm mind. But we also need judgment for Dharma. How do those two things interact? Is it a push and pull, or is it more clear?
Swamiji was talking about raga and dvesha tyāga.
Ah.
And so I think the question is related to that.
Should we keep it for Swamiji, or you want me to answer? So I would like to understand first what you really want to ask.
I guess I'm wondering if we want to tame the judgmental mind, right? Subjectivity, likes and dislikes, these are things we want to tame to achieve calmness, correct?
Yeah. So I was just saying, if we want to tame our subjective, judgmental thinking,
Yeah.
but we also need proper judgment and subjectivity for dharmic action. And obviously the black and white cases are easy to understand, but dharma can also be complex.
True.
Like if you have to fight your family in a battlefield, right? So how do those two things interact with each other, I was wondering.
Yeah. But when you basically judge based on Dharma, you are not subjective. Because Dharma is not my manifestation. Dharma is Ishvara's manifestation. And therefore, objectivity is this, that, well, what is Ishvara. And therefore, basically, even Dharma also, which is a manifestation of Ishvara, based on that, if you judge, there is a lot of objectivity. Subjectivity means you project something over and above, on the objects, on the Ishvara, you project something as a good, bad, favorable, unfavorable, etc. That is our creation. That's a subjectivity. So though we should avoid those types of judgments, yeah. And always we should judge based on Dharma, etc., which is purely objectivity. Because Dharma is also a manifestation. When you judge based on the object, you are quite objective. So basically, is it okay?
Yeah.
Oh, last night we talked about Maya. Why does Maya do this? Is there a reason? Maya is basically, we introduce this. What happens is basically, the whole creation is one non-dual reality. And that is Brahman. Or that is Ishvara. You can call even Ishvara also. Including you. It includes you. One non-dual. Cannot be away from you. So the very seer is Brahman. The very sight is Brahman. And what is seen also is Brahman. But you say no. Swami, you are using three things. Even for the sake of words, you are using three. The seer, the sight, and the very object which is seen. Well, how will you account for those? We say Maya. This is Maya. Maya means just names and forms, which is say you can, because it's a creation. whatever the reality of the creation, we are not going into that. But that creation of names and forms, are manifestations of names and forms over and above this reality. So we as though add these names and forms on the reality. Simple. Like you have a 100-gram gold and you add various names and forms on it. Like you add, a particular form called a bangle or a chain, etc. or a ring. It's as though addition. Otherwise, there would be 100-gram gold and you add names and forms, all these ornaments, it would be 130, 140 grams. So it doesn't. In fact, it would be less. With the skills of our goldsmith, it would be always less, not more. So it's as though addition. All these forms which are non-separate from the vastu, that gold, satyam, for that we have names. Those addition of names and forms, or that part which is actually mithya now, is Maya. That's it. Maya means nothing but this unmanifest entire world. Unmanifest names and forms. That's Maya. That alone manifest in the form of this Jagat. Manifest names and forms. Same Brahman. All ornaments in form of names and forms were there in gold as unmanifest. Now manifest names and forms plus gold. Same thing. Could you follow? And all these names and forms, well, basically, every form is a knowledge actually. Any form is a knowledge. Any given form, like a body. So much knowledge, my God. So much knowledge. So Ishvara with all names and forms means Ishvara with all knowledge, manifest in the form of Jagat. That's it. We can call some power, creative power also you can call. Like that. Unmanifest names and forms, creative power, or all knowledge, etc. Same thing. Any form, when you start analyzing, you get books and books. Really. Even this also. You start analyzing, you will have several PhDs on pot. Really? Several PhDs. So there is nothing but Ishvara's knowledge. Like you are a conscious being, a waker, and you sleep. Now your knowledge only manifests in the form of entire dream world. Nothing but your knowledge. You, the conscious being, with your knowledge, whatever knowledge, manifest in the form of dream space, dream time, dream objects, dream people. Any given thing you take from the dreams world is nothing but your knowledge. There is no other material. Right? And that knowledge which was non-separate from you, the conscious being, same way, same conscious being, well, Ishvara, with his knowledge, that is power, Maya, manifest in the form of Jagat. So we are all, whatever we are studying in universities, we are studying Ishvara's mind. Really. Ishvara's mind we are studying. Suppose someone is studying in a dream, some object, dream object, some very studious person is studying. He is studying your mind. He is studying your mind. What we study in physics is also Ishvara's mind. What we study in physiology, psychology, all, biology, chemistry, everything. I have coping strategies for managing how to still treat others decently when I'm angry. However, I still tend to ruminate on this emotion. How do I stop doing this? What is this ruminate? dwell upon. However, I still tend to dwell upon this emotion. How do I stop doing this? The questions are really, mostly I am going to fail, I think. I thought I will be the topper after the... So coping strategies for managing how to still treat others decently when I'm angry. You have already coping strategies, means you know. No, I mean... There are certain... one cannot justify one's anger because of all reasons. Because of a certain physical damage, mental damage, socially also, every way. We'll be talking consequences tomorrow. And however, I still tend to ruminate on this emotion. I will have to meet the person and seek certain further clarification. Okay. Reflecting on Satya and Mithya discussion, I recall a clay pot example. Where might Maya help to realize the opportunity of freedom from anger? Yes. That I will be discussing day after tomorrow. That even with your anger, which is there, you can change your perception for your own all negative emotion and creating a certain space. And look at those emotions with a lot of compassion. And that can help you to handle it little objectively. That I will talk to this, so let us wait for one more day. Now, how do we practice detachment and renunciation? Swamiji, I think, is talking about it. How do you balance not having expectations while there are implications if someone treats you unfairly in a transaction or business deal? True? Yeah. So how do you balance not having expectations while there are implications if someone treats you unfairly in a transaction or business deal? Definitely, expectations will be there, but those expectations, we are handling at a different level. So basically, and anyone treats you little with an injustice, etc., you need not take it at a core level. That's what we are saying here. So basically, if person has done some injustice to you, definitely at what level it affects you, that is very important. And therefore, if someone treats you unfairly in a transaction or a business deal, you can definitely handle in a legal manner. You need not have to show your reaction. That's what I mean, basically. And here reaction is anger, etc. Anger or with an attitude of a revenge, etc., is not going to help. Either any type of a reaction will not accomplish a thing. It will definitely damage you. That's what we are telling you. And therefore, in this case, balancing, how do you balance not having expectations while there are implications? You can expect the person should definitely treat you properly. You can, even in a business deal, if it is he has to pay you some money, etc., he has to pay you. Otherwise, you can take help of a law, etc., and do that. But you should not show a reaction. Reaction, definitely, any reaction will damage you. That's only we are saying. And so that is the thing. Swamiji, dharma seems like it can be complex or discerning dharmic. We have done that. Mind mithya. How does one differentiate between being complacent and being content? That's Swamiji is saying. Okay. Any other question?
Just a couple of cards back here.
Yeah.
Make their way up.
They're on the sheet.
Oh, they're on the sheet.
They're on the sheet.
Oh, okay.
Those are on the sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, last night we talked about Maya. Oh, that is. Okay. Is duty an obstacle in renunciation? I think that Swamiji is taking. Okay. Okay. How does one cultivate? What is that? Charity? How does one cultivate? What is it?
It's somewhere on the Word document.
There's a question, Brady, can you see if you can find that on the document?
What is that? Shiv?
Oh, it's clarity.
Yeah, clarity.
Literally, I'm a doctor.
How does one cultivate clarity and service to be part of one's nature instead of those qualities being a reaction to experiencing injustice or suffering? Oh, so what's your question? I would really like to understand first.
Yeah, where's the mic?
Swamiji, I was, the question comes from sort of thinking about, we see a lot of injustice and suffering happening at various parts around the world as well as in our lives. And we feel an urge to do something positive about that. But is that urge of itself, in order to get a positive benefit, something that is a raga, essentially, right? Is it supposed to be something that we should be attracted to? Or is it something that eventually we should just be naturally inclined to have that sort of disposition towards? Am I making sense at all? Or am I just overthinking it? It's all right.
No, you clarify further.
Maybe I will just think about it a little bit more, Swamiji, and come back to you tomorrow.
What does he want to convey?
Can I take that, the question, Swamiji? Like, things are happening. Like, let us say, for example, what is happening in Israel-Gaza war, right? The war that is happening.
Okay.
There is a lot of protest going on. So a lot of youth, example, not only youth, people find that there is injustice on both sides.
Correct.
So naturally, many of us try to take a stance and side. The question sometimes happens, is it really from the dharmic view, are we allowed to make that kind of judgment, or say that this is all part of the cosmic thing, so let it figure it out for itself? Is that right?
Yes.
Which is right?
So it's a part of a cosmic event, naturally, because there are karmas. See, everything, whatever is happening is ultimately due to karmas. Even at a samashti level also. Maybe a larger group is affected, still those people's karmas are there. We may not say openly, but it is part of, naturally. It is not fair that, well, they are suffering because of their karmas. We are creating a new karma then. Yeah. When you say then let them suffer because it's their own karmas. By saying that you are creating a karma for you. Yeah. So that is not fair. But we should understand that it is part of ultimately its order. It is in order, whatever is happening. There is no accident in this creation. Being an intelligent manifestation, everything is working in order, and therefore whatever is happening, any incident is also within the order. And therefore, yes, but at the same time you are given a free will, you have empathy, etc., and you help others, that is, you should do. Saying that, well, let them suffer because of their karma is creating a bad karma for you. So, is it okay? So, definitely. So, it's a part of a cosmic thing. Whatever is happening, we may not be able to understand naturally.
Yeah.
Because at the level of karma, we cannot understand. Only we have that, since we have a Shraddha in the Shastra, and well, we talk about this. Because other than that, what will you say? You will have to say accident. We have this cause to ultimately, cause is a karma for all that, we say that. And thereby, well, we definitely have some solace. But it doesn't mean that we should not help. We have a free will, we sense basically others suffering, and we should definitely help, whatever we can do. At least a prayer, in terms of prayer. This thing should not happen, people should not get killed. Or at the other level, people can definitely raise voice or something, that also should be done. But telling openly that this is all part of a cosmic phenomena is not fair. But we should understand it is. We should understand it is a part of this cosmic karma. So how does one cultivate the viewpoint of everything in reality is already perfect, including the suffering or injustice? Correct? Now, ultimately, it's a manifestation of one Brahman which is perfect, which is Satchidananda, etc. So everything is Satchidananda, ultimately. In that sense, whatever is there other than what you experience is mithya. So and anything mithya is there, it's basically, the Satyam is lying there itself. No mithya can exist independently. Otherwise it is not called mithya. So any mithya means basically the truth is lying there itself. Like a pot is there, the clay is right there. So, from one standpoint, well, definitely we bring into account dharma, etc., everything, and karmas, etc. But from the other standpoint, from absolute standpoint, from reality standpoint, ultimately, everything is perfect. Everything is Brahman. Everything is Purnam. Is duty an obstacle in renunciation? How can Swamiji ask a question? Any question further? Yeah.
Swamiji, I asked the business question, and I wanted to ask a follow-up about it. So, one of the things that I've been thinking about is when you are, for example, doing something with someone, let's say you do something together and you decide, okay, whatever we get from it, we'll split evenly. So over some time, you notice that you're doing more than them. Is it, what I'm trying to understand is it greedy and is it expectation of me to bring it up and try and change it to, let's say, I get 70, you get 30, right? Is that a form of expectation and I shouldn't be thinking that way?
You should think.
And so why is that not, or how is that okay? I guess in a world where we shouldn't be having expectation over things.
No, we should definitely expect, but my point is we were discussing expectation in terms of binding desire. Suppose you are getting less, and he is getting more, suppose. You want more, right? Suppose you are not getting, he doesn't agree. Now how do you look upon yourself? If this desire is not fulfilled to get more share, how do you feel?
Oh, you're asking me. Oh, sorry. It feels unfair.
Definitely. Then you take help of you should open communication with the person in a good environment and try to explain. And if he doesn't agree, then you may have to take help of a sort of take legal advice, what should be done in this case. Or if it is a partnership kind of a thing. If it is a deal or partnership, you mean?
Let's say partnership.
Partnership. Then we should become independent. Yeah. Because what happens is ultimately, suppose you say, well, Swami, I don't like this kind of a thing where I want more share because I'm working more, etc., whatever. And he's not giving. You are trying to explain the person. And you have an option, either legally you do something, or you say, well, we don't want that. Instead, well, we become separate. We separate from each other for in business partnership. Well, you should do it. I think you should do it. Yeah. You should do it. But basically...
Swamiji, can you briefly discuss binding versus non-binding? It may help with this.
Yeah. So the binding desire means basically a desire by which you want to fulfill your likes and dislikes. So when you fulfill your certain desire and you feel good about yourself, means you have fulfilled your raga dvesha. That's it. And they are simply fences, basically. Our raga dveshas are our own projection. I like something, I dislike something. Basically in the creation there is nothing like that. Because what you like, which I don't like. What you dislike, I may like. So it's all basically a projection of... In the objective creation, there is nothing called good or bad. So what is favorable to you may not be favorable to me, etc. So in that case, the ragadveshas have to be tackled little. I mean, those things will remain. But basically we should know that we should not be under their sway. That's what it means. And otherwise they will ultimately lead to all reactions that we have seen, that binding desire, how it leads to anger, etc. So we have to tackle those things. And otherwise your mind will... See, when you want to fulfill your raga dveshas, your mind will have anxiety, stress, all those things. And therefore, ultimately it is not going to be helpful, even to enjoy simple happiness in life. Therefore, we have to handle them. And they are all projections of mind. Our own raga dveshas keep changing. What I like today, I may dislike tomorrow. What I dislike today, well, I may like tomorrow. All these things are happening. That shows there is no objectivity in that. Object doesn't have all this kind of a thing. So definitely still, if you feel that no, I don't like that theory right now, well, then in that case you separate from your partner. Try to explaining 2-3 times, but if he doesn't agree, what will you do? Because all the time you will feel that you are working hard and he is taking more share. So definitely, then you should do that. Yeah.
Swamiji, going back to the expectations, the projections, and the cosmology of why Maya exists and how come the universe is manifest as it is and then goes back into Laya and then manifestation. Why is that? What is our cosmology like? How do you explain, the absolute reality, transactional reality?
How do we understand this transaction?
What is the cosmology of all of that? The way that we explain how that comes to be from unmanifest to manifest.
Yeah, unmanifest to manifest is basically, that is what Maya means. Maya means which is unmanifest, and because manifest, that is called this world. In that, the process we describe is the process of, you have seen the 5 elements which emerges, from the Maya, etc., subtle elements and then gross and etc. This all process is explained, which is called a process of creation from unmanifest to manifest, from Maya to the world. And that in that the process of this fivefold grossification, etc., of the 5 elements from the 3 gunas, etc., of 3 gunas of the Maya, 3 qualities, sattva, rajas, tamas, each give rise to basically, from that the 5 elements, and each will have aspect of sattva, rajas, tamas, all the 5 elements, and then sattva aspect give rise to our sense organs as well as the mind, and then rajas aspect will give rise to the pranas, samashti, and organs of action, like that. And then tamas aspect of all the elements give rise to, they grossify, give rise to the gross world. That is how we explain unmanifest to manifest. That's a cosmology, that's it. There is nothing else. And in that also, every Upanishad talks differently. Yeah. So that shows it is not real. Yeah. Prashnopanishad talks about only 2 things called Rai and Prana. Well, its whole cosmos is a play of these 2 things only, Rai and Prana. Chandogya Upanishad talks about 3 elements. It doesn't talk about Akasha and Vayu. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about all 5 elements. So that shows it is not real. But this kind of a question will be there, how from unmanifest to manifest has come. Then, it is explained. It's a model actually. Frankly speaking, it's a model. It's a model. Like from the gold bar, how a chain is made. So you show the stages. But every stage it is gold only. Whatever is there, you find a different names, a different forms, but they are mithya definitely. What is truth is one gold. Initially also it was gold, and now also as a chain also it is still gold. Could you follow? But you want to understand from gold, that bar, how the chain is made. So they will say, well, they have made first some, the wires, and then made some rings and etc., like that. Various stages you can show. Pardon?
But why does it happen, Swamiji?
Why does it happen? Nice. Why do you create a dream?
A dream?
Dream is your creation, right? Why do you create?
Oh. Fair enough. It's my nature? Is it my nature?
So there is no real creation. Basically, you should understand there is no real creation. When you ask why the creation? Ultimately, your question is this, why the creation? Answer is there is no creation. Really, there is no creation. No, but still, whatever mithya creation, why? Well, why mithya dream creation? That's all it is. Right?
Yes.
You only, manifest in all the names and forms for some time and again merges back into you. That's how it is. There is no purpose. People try to find a purpose. When you ask about a purpose, definitely there is a reality involved. We say mithya has a purpose.
Oh.
That's a difference. People give a reality to a given thing just because it is useful. Purpose. Anything which serves a purpose, how can you call mithya? But the mithya alone has a purpose. Styrofoam has no role to play, but the cup which is made up of styrofoam has a purpose. Right? It has a purpose. Styrofoam has no purpose. Just because cup serves a purpose, cup is real, then what about styrofoam? Who is more real? One who says cup or one who says styrofoam? Swamiji, both are real. Yeah, somebody told me also. When I show a styrofoam cup, well, you say cup, I say styrofoam. Now see this. When you say cup, I say styrofoam, if both the words used, and both of us are correct, and both the words used for one object, then both should be synonyms. Like, you say aqua, I say water. for some water, glass of water is there. You say aqua, I say water. Two words are there, both are correct. Two words which are equally correct, equally right, used for one object, then both the words should be synonyms. Am I right? Both the words should be synonyms. Is it the same case here? When you say cup, I say styrofoam. For the one object, if both of us are equally right, both the words denote one object and both are equally right, then in that case, both are synonyms. They are not synonyms, right? Cup has its own object, in fact. Need not be styrofoam. If both are basically synonyms, well, definitely wherever the cup, wherever the water is, there is aqua. Wherever the cup is, there should be styrofoam. Am I right?
Yes.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Wherever the cup is, there is styrofoam. Need not be. Cup is there, but need not be styrofoam. Gold cup or something else. Wherever styrofoam, there should be cup, if it is a synonym. No. Styrofoam has just material available, not cup. Right?
Yeah.
Therefore, even though both of us are right, for one object you said cup and I said styrofoam, both are not equally right. One is more right than the other. One who says cup is less right than the one who says styrofoam. Because if I break the cup, you will stop using the word cup. I was using for styrofoam before also. After breaking cup also I am using word styrofoam. Therefore styrofoam is real. The object denoted by the cup is mithya. The cup is simply a form, non-separate from the styrofoam. Anyway, any other question?
Thank you, Swamiji. That was a great answer. I was hoping she would be a little more confused at the end, so she would watch more Tattva Bodha with me. Your Tattva Bodha classes on Maya are amazing. I think... you had a question? No?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So I was the one who was asking about the Maya as far as the freedom from anger. And do you think that there is you said at the last stage there's a destruction. Can you now create a construction from that? Because it's all energy for the most part. The emotional aspects of the journey from a reactive.
What did you say?
So when we went through the journey of the runaway reaction, the last stage is destruction. Oh. So couldn't the following stage be a construction? Because it's just like the cup example, right? It's just an emotion that has gone to a final stage, and now you can recreate it into something new.
What he wants to say.
Swamiji was talking about vinashyate. After destruction, can there be construction?
Well, you were talking about this. Yeah.
So a destruction is again going to unmanifest condition. That's it. Yeah. There is no real destruction. Right. Like scientists are also saying the same thing. Energy gets converted into matter, matter gets converted into energy, etc. So unmanifest to manifest. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani Bharata Bhagavan says. Two places. Avyaktad vyaktaya sarvaha prabhavanti aharagame. Another place, avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani. There is no real destruction. There is not a 1 ounce of matter destroyed. 1 ounce of water, 1 ounce of earth, 1 ounce of fire. Nothing is destroyed. Only it is getting converted into different forms. That is what we say. If matter is not destroyed, then why the consciousness which lends existence to the matter. Matter doesn't lend existence to the consciousness. Without consciousness, no one is able to prove the existence of matter. If matter is not destroyed, why consciousness should get destroyed, which lends existence to matter? Could you follow what I'm saying? This is what we ask. Not an ounce of matter is destroyed in this universe. Ounce. Even in the stage of a dissolution, all becomes unmanifest. And from unmanifest again, manifest. You can say energy is like an unmanifest form. And matter is like a manifest form. So, this is how the creation is. Nothing is destroyed. Body also. We say destruction, but it's again going back to 5 elements. Anyway, some other question?
So you talked about a couple of different ways that we shouldn't think about mithya. So you said that we should not think of it as less than. And you also said that we should not think of it as if there's a purpose for us with this. Like it's just a creation, like a dream that doesn't really have a reason. What are some ways that we can think about it?
What are
some ways that we can think about it? About mithya?
How do we understand mithya?
Yeah, mithya is actually there in order to understand the reality behind that. That's it, nothing else. So when you say anything mithya, in fact mithya is satyam. This, when you say there is a pot, you are giving a existence to the pot. When you understand the reality as a clay, well, you say the pot is clay. Could you follow? The very existence of the pot is derived, is borrowed in presence of clay. So, whatever the creation is there, mithya, well, ultimately, through that we understand what is real, which is the basis of the entire mithya world, including body, mind, thoughts, your memory, your imagination. Everything is. All your perceptions, all your beliefs, all is. That very existence of any name and form like this is existence through Brahman, which is Satchit. That's it. That's the purpose. Mithya serves a purpose like this, nothing else. So if pot itself is not there, well, the creation is not there, because here the example will have certain difficulties. So when the creation itself is not there, there is a question of where the Brahman is and etc. Through creation only, which is mithya, we understand something which is the basis of our entire creation, which is Satyam, which is Brahman, which is self. So if you are asking a purpose of mithya, it is to understand what is Satyam, which is lying there. So every mithya is, you are taking it as a Satyam now. Every mithya. Every wave, you are taking it as a water. Earlier you were seeing a wave and you are thinking, suppose, you are taking wave as a real. Now you are understanding that wave is water. This wave is water. This wave is water. That's the purpose of that wave, to arrive at the truth. That's it. And then you say one non-dual water. In between waves there is water. Every wave is water. One non-dual water. Whole water. That's the purpose. So all names and forms, including body, mind, sense, complex, which is mithya, ultimately to understand the truth behind that is Satyam. Okay? Om Purnamada पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ